You finally got the pasta and the big parm wheel.
That was good. That was incredible, man. One of the best spaghettis I've ever had. But they bring out this push cart, and they got the big cheese wheel on it. And at first, he just grades a bunch of that cheese, gets it ready. And then he takes a little olive oil and a little butter and puts it in a skillet over like one of these little sterno burners, you know. It's incredibly hot. And melts that, throws in some garlic, some shallot or onion. He called it onion, but it looked like shallot to me. And gets that going. And then he puts in the pasta and adds some vodka, puts it on fire, and it's all flaming. And he throws the cheese in, and he's tossing it. And then he dumps it over in the cheese wheel and tosses it in there, and it bowls it up for you. And I don't know how to describe how good it is.
It's like the best butter noodles you've ever had.
Yeah. It's like noodles and butter and cheese, but it's not saucy, but it has these pockets of that freshly grated whatever kind of.
I'm sure everybody's seen that on like TikTok or whatever, but we'd never gotten the chance to try it.
Welcome to Malcolm Reed's How to Barbecue Right, a podcast where we talk about barbecue, share recipes, and discuss all things delicious. And now, here's your host, Malcolm and Rochelle Reed.
Hey, welcome back to the How to Barbecue Right podcast. I'm your host, Malcolm Reed, and I'm joined by my lovely, talented senorita, Miss Southern Shell. Shell, buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
How are you?
Mucho gracias. You too?
We are fresh back. Just got off the plane yesterday and was in for a daggum shock when we landed. I was ready to go back south because it is cold in Mississippi. Man, why is it so cold, Shell?
I don't know.
You can't do this to me. Like, you trying to test my sinuses and everything. I know I sound horrible today. So my nose stopped up since I stepped off the plane yesterday.
Even though it's cold, the weather still got you.
Yeah.
Or the allergies still got you.
So we went on vacation last week, and we told y'all we were going to
Mexico.
We went to Mexico this year, and it was beautiful. It's gorgeous. Step off the plane, you can breathe. It's like, and then I come back to Mississippi, and it's like, man, back to miserable head conditions. And we ain't even got the pollen season yet.
I know.
Like, it tried. Then that daggum groundhog saw his shadow, went back in the hole and brought all this snow and ice. At least we were gone for that.
See, I hate that we missed the snow day because the kids got 2 snow days.
It was more ice day, I think.
Well, either way.
It didn't look like you wanted to be here, from what I've heard. Tyler, how was your trip? You went to Florida too, right?
It was good. So I feel like with y'all's trip, you probably had just shock right off the plane. So like it went from one extreme to the other versus ours was more gradual. So we drove back up from Florida. So it was like we started in the 80s and then we climbed, got to the 50s, 40s, 30s, 20s, 10s. And I was like, all right.
That's cold enough.
I think we should just turn around.
I thought something was wrong with the car. This can't be right.
I got to the point where I started looking up retail shop locations for like South Florida. Trying to convince y'all.
Relocate. I wonder if you could do like a snowbird style. I mean, we're in the South. Where are we going to go? We're going to have to go like, I don't know. It snowed on the coast this year. You can't escape it.
I don't know. I couldn't live down there. I couldn't live at an all-inclusive.
No.
Yeah.
Man, seven. I don't even know. We didn't even really do 7 days because you don't really, it's kind of like 6.5 days, but my body has to have a break after that. There's only so much tequila one man can do.
You tried.
I tried. I tried my best.
I know I didn't want to be on camera today.
No, I'm sure I look horrible, but I don't care. I'm back, Jack. Ready to go. I'm supposed to be fired up after vacation, but I don't know.
It always takes a day or two to recover.
It's like, I don't know if everybody else feels like this, but do you ever get to where you need a vacation from your vacation?
Yeah.
Like, I figured out what we need to do. Instead of doing like 1 week, we need to split it up and do like, you can only go so many days to this resort that has anything,
all the food and drinks. Yeah.
Whatever you like. And then you have to go to like
a wellness spa.
Almost like check yourself into some health clinic or something. I hate to say I'm a quitter, but dang, I need to slow down. I just need to cleanse. I need like a 2 or 3 day cleanse just to get my system back because you're eating all this incredible food.
What was
having cocktails whenever you want them? You want to wake up, have a Bloody Mary? Hey,
it's encouraged.
Yeah,
nobody looks down at you.
Yeah.
What?
Man, but if y'all haven't been to the Atelier, we found some travel agents. We were listening to a podcast, and then we reached out, and so we were looking to go somewhere different because we've always been to like Sandals properties, and we love going to like the Caribbean. And they was like, well, y'all should try this. If you like food, we recommend this place. And it was Atelier, Playa Majares. It's like north of Cancun a little bit. And it was incredible. So shout out to Piniac Travel. They put us on a spot. And I mean, it's not a cheap place by any means, but man, it was worth it.
So today I was actually wanting to talk to you about resort food.
I'm down. I know all about it.
The first one we went to, so we went on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
And it was, would you say it was a budget one?
I don't know if it was, I mean, it's what I could afford at the time.
Yeah.
Like that was our deal. You were going to do like, okay, I'll get we're going to do the wedding and you do the honeymoon and, kind of typical husband-wife type thing. I said, I got this. So I saved up.
Both of them were very minimal budget.
Yeah, saved up. And I don't even remember what that trip cost, but it wasn't.
I think it was $3,000.
We flew in the back of the plane. And and we stayed for a week. I think we did stay a week, didn't we?
It was close to a week, yeah.
But we went to Couples in the grill. And that was like my first experience, I think, out of the country, even anywhere, first time getting a passport.
You'd never gone to like Mexico when you were younger?
Yeah, but you could cross we walked across and, it wasn't nothing like I didn't stay. We just went.
It was a day trip.
Yeah.
I did the same thing in college, yeah.
And then, but that was the first time I'd ever had to like get a passport and do all that. And I was like, man, this is amazing. It's beautiful. I had a blast. And the food wasn't, it was typical, what you would say, resort food.
So that's what I think. Resort food, everybody talks about how bad it is. It's resort food.
That's a long time ago.
But even then, like I remember going to like their fancy restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the same food they're serving at the beach bar, They just put it in nicer plates.
That's it.
And that was before I'd ever been to
anywhere.
Done the dining that we've done now.
You were young, Shell, back then.
Now I'm just medium.
Yeah, now you're just medium.
Shell. But the food was just okay. But I feel like, and I remember getting excited when we got Wendy's at the airport after we left.
That was like the best thing you had in a week. Yeah. When you get back to a Wendy's. Some kind of normal.
And I feel like most people give resort food that rap too. But I feel like there's a key to knowing what to order and where to go.
There's definitely levels of different resorts.
True.
And what you should eat at the resort you're at too.
So we've done a couple, I'd say 7 or 8 other all-inclusive, some family, some adult only. And we've done a cruise. Mm-hmm. And the cruise food was the worst of all of them, I would say.
So the cruise is bad because it's like they start out, I think, with everything on the boat. And so it tapers down over the course of your cruise.
Yeah, it just
so your food may be pretty good at the beginning. Like Guy's Burger is pretty good the first time. But when they get down to the bottom of the meat they got,
the week just kept getting worse and worse.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the cruises. But
Guy Fieri did have that little spot on the cruise ship.
It was the burgers.
Yeah, and it had the soggiest fries.
The best thing on the cruise ship that I think I had was the pizza because it was always fresh. Like you go get it and they make your own little personal pizza, and it was like, that's pretty good. But you live off that and frozen rum drinks for a week. It's not good for you.
And we've also gone to the Bahamas where we didn't stay at a resort. We just kind of, and even then the food wasn't like stellar. Like we were going to restaurants and stuff.
It was okay.
It was okay. Yeah.
Bahamian's a different culture. It's like, it's just cool to be there. You got to get on that vibe.
Nobody says, let's go to the Bahamas and eat.
Yeah. They just go to Bahamas to chillax.
Who do you think out of all the countries you've been to in Mexico, Caribbean, who do you think had the best food?
Oh, Mexico, hands down now. My first, is no comparison. No comparison.
Jamaica has some pretty good food.
This place was amazing. I mean, they had a Michelin starred chef that had a restaurant at the place we were at, and that meal was incredible. I never ate anything like it.
You had, what was your favorite thing at that dinner?
Tuna belly. Raw tuna belly. Sashimi style. And it was like in a little sauce. And it tasted like you were eating fine Wagyu beef. It just melted in your mouth. And you would, I don't know if if you didn't, they tell you it's tuna belly, would you know that was tuna? I guess you would.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like tuna, but it looked like even more marbled up tuna than normal. And you're a big fan of raw tuna.
Yeah.
Or you have become.
I have become one. And it all hinges on the quality of that tuna. And I don't know what that stuff like. I don't even know if you can get tuna, but I wouldn't know where to go buy it. Never seen it. I mean, I don't. My experience with eating that is like going to a Japanese restaurant, with eating sashimi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's good. I mean, I want to go. I mean, I may start tuna fishing more now if it's that good because it was incredible. That was just a bite to me, it was life changing because I'm all flavor and different meats and stuff like that. And that was one that's wow. It's worth the hype.
You used to be very anti-raw.
Raw fish, yeah.
What changed your mind?
I don't know. I guess
there wasn't one specific thing.
No, not one specific thing. But I had at this resort we were at, I had raw salmon, had raw amberjack, had ceviche octopus. The tuna belly was outstanding. I mean, everything was like wow. Worst thing I had there was it was like an octopus dish, and they had tried to fry it, and.
You took one bite and you looked at me. You said, they fried the puss right out of this one.
They did. It was like, that was the one thing that I can say I had there that I did not like was fried octopus. Because it was just like eating a rubber band or something.
Yeah.
But like a wad of it, like a rubber band ball. You just couldn't chew it up. But the grilled octopus was fantastic. Like we had it and it was served. I mean, now
it looked like a tentacle on a plate.
It was a tentacle on a plate with a sauce, and you had to cut it, but it was tender, melt in your mouth. It tasted like it had been cooked over a charcoal grill, and it was fantastic. The tuna ceviche, the octopus ceviche was really good. It was like a mixed ceviche. It had octopus in it, but it had other stuff too, fish and
it was little tentacles in the ceviche.
Yeah, but it was
good.
It was good.
We gotta retract what we said about corn tortillas.
Yes. I've never, in most of my dishes, you don't see me using corn because I'm just not a fan. They fall apart.
We've talked about it plenty of times, how we don't like corn tortillas.
Man, they changed my life on the corn tortilla. I'm like, this is so much better than a flour tortilla. It was real corn tortilla, and I think it has to do with maybe the type of masa and the fat that they used to make those, and then who was cooking them. I don't know, but it was. Every taco I had was like that. And I think you could get flour there because there were some where they'd ask you if you want flour or corn.
And the first time we were like flour.
Yeah.
And then the next time they didn't have flour. And I was like, this is corn?
Yeah. And it's so much better.
It was soft and flavorful. I will say, if you are at an all-inclusive resort and they have any kind of like pop-up setup where they're cooking it right there, that's your best food.
We had fish tacos at the pool one day, and it was like in a pop-up tent, and there was one guy kind of doing the fryer and one guy just putting the tacos together. Like, and you dressed it yourself. They had all these different sauces and stuff. Oh man, pickled onions, the whole works, and it was like the best fish taco that I may have ever had. I made some good fish tacos, but I don't know nothing about.
We had some other Baja fish taco another time.
Yeah, it was Baja shrimp taco. They called that a shrimp taco.
Okay.
It was good too.
Yeah,
I don't know. We went to one restaurant and you just picked the kind of tacos you wanted, and they had beef 5 or 6 ways. It was like, I should have brought the menu in here, but what got me on it was the tongue, the lingua. I had never had that. And what they did, they had took beef tongue. I had it 2 different ways, and both of them were outstanding.
Was that the first time you've had beef tongue?
Yes. And that's the one, I usually when I go on one of these trips, I try to find something that's like, man, I want to go back and see if I can learn to cook, teach myself to cook that or, and get close. Well, what they had took this beef tongue and they cooked it tender, but it was cubed up into little, you think of like the way a burnt-in is, but like miniature size. So it's little bitty cubes of beef tongue. And I'm guessing they cooked it first and then cubed it and got it cool. And then like you do carnitas, you put it back in like a fat and crisp it up. So it's like you drop it in hot oil, like you're frying it again to get it crispy. And it took on this flavor, almost bacony, almost, I don't know. It's hard to explain what that flavor and the tongue itself was tender and just on that corn shell. with a little bit of fresh pico and man, the onions and this little habanero sauce they make. And they tell you that they have these sauces lined out and they'll tell you mild, this one's not too
And they'll
bad.
be like, oh, not
And they'll
that
tell you,
one.
don't mess with that. Like, gringo, don't eat that, gringo.
And me and you are
straight to it, and it was hot, but it wasn't like I never had anything in Mexico that blew my head off, and I was expecting it just to be the hottest, but it wasn't. It was just flavor. Even at the bar, and we're going to talk about that too. But the sauces were phenomenal that you could put on these, and that taco was one of the ones. I think that one. The Al Pastor was fantastic. The just regular carne asada. It was like carne beef. What do they call it? Res? Is that the word for it?
Yeah, res.
Yeah, but it was all, man. It was just melted. Oh, we had birria. They had a birria, and they served it with a sauce and everything, and it was fantastic. I mean, they were like, "Do you know what birria is?" And I was like, "Oh, well, that's came to America now."
Yeah, we know
we've
that.
seen it, and I didn't know, but theirs was way more flavorful and just, I don't know, it was incredible. That was one of the, as far as an eating vacation, that was probably the tops of my life. It's gonna be hard to top that.
Yeah, because you can go anywhere and get something good.
Yeah.
Everything that we had that was like a hot sauce or something that was supposed to be really, really spicy, it was always more flavorful than it was spicy, and the heat would like hit you, but it would never continue to build. I hate it when you get a hot sauce and it just keeps getting hotter and hotter and hot. I hate that. This would just kind of stay there for a second and be really good and flavorful, and then slowly drop off. Dissipate.
So you know how we do the Malcom bombs, where I will take like a Miller Lite, put me some hot sauce on it, season it, put some seasoning on there, squeeze a lime, and pop it. Well, that's like
they called it the Mexican one.
Yeah, they called it the Mexican. You want a Mexican beer? You want a Mexican beer? That's what they do there. So they would take Tajín. They'd take the can, and we were drinking Victoria, really good Mexican beer. I'd never seen it here. And Tecate Light. You like the Tecate Light? It was really
both
good.
Both of them are really
and
good.
Modelo's. I drink a ton of Modelo's. They had Corona, but I was like, I'm not going to Mexico and drink Corona. I can get those.
We did drink one.
Yeah, it wasn't
that
near
guy
as good.
Kind of tricked us, but yeah.
Wasn't near as good. But
he didn't trick us, but
the Victoria like that, and they would take a lime and go around the outside, put it in the Tajín, and then give you another lime to switch on top. Well, they had this bottle. It was like a bright green. I don't know. It looked like a naked woman, like a silhouette or whatever.
The bottle
it was sitting over at the bar, and I was like, man, what is that? I was just sitting there talking to some dudes at the pool bar, and that one guy said, oh, it's probably some kind of shot. And so he said, can we, get a shot of that? And the guy was like, see, on a shot of that. So he got out the shot glasses and he started putting it in there, but he would just put a drop. And I was like, uh-oh, this ain't no shooting liquor, And I said, what is it? And he says, it's habanero. And they put it in spicy margaritas, whatever kind of spicy drink they're using. That's what they're using. And then they use it for the Mexican beer or Mexican style beer. And they just put like a drop, like we would hot sauce on the top of the Malcom bomb. They would put that stuff. And the other people thought it was like screaming hot.
Yeah.
I tried it and I was like, man, this is just flavor. It was habanero for sure, but it wasn't vinegary like a hot sauce. It was what they did. They took he said 14 or 15 fresh habaneros, and their habaneros were bright green. I guess it was like a young habanero. It wasn't like the kind we get in our grocery stores where they're yellow, orange. But it was a bright green habanero sauce, and they put them in a food processor, and they mix it with tequila and water, and they put it back in this bottle, and they said you got to let it sit for 24 hours, and then they use it at the bar, and it's good for, he said they go through a bottle of it about every 2 or 3 days, and they'll have to make another batch. Well, all the bars, or most of the bars would have it. Sometimes we went to, and they didn't know what we were talking about. It just depended on what bar you were at. But at that pool bar there in particular, it was where we got them the whole time, and it was, I don't know. That's why you started drinking beer. I was shocked that you liked it, but it was the flavor.
It was so much flavor. And you're only getting like a little pop, on top of a beer. Your big thing is
shot Patron 7. And I was drinking Don Julio 70 and Mexican style beers, just like water.
I even took a shot of that
70.
Yeah. It was smooth.
You wouldn't even know it was tequila.
I don't do shots of tequila. Yeah. That was pretty good. Your big thing is you always end up talking to the bartenders and the servers and things like that about how do you make this?
Yeah.
What's in this? Give me a recipe.
They did. Most of them would. They would tell you exactly what they did.
You finally got the pasta and the big parm wheel.
That was good. That was incredible, man. One of the best spaghettis I've ever had. I recorded it. I think I don't know. It's on my phone. It wasn't on your phone. It's on my phone. But they bring out this push cart and they got the big cheese wheel on it. And at first he just grades a bunch of that cheese, gets it ready. And then he takes a little olive oil and a little butter and puts it in a skillet over like one of these little sterno burners, It's incredibly hot. And melts that, throws in some garlic, some shallot or onion. He called it onion, but it looked like shallot to me. And gets that going. And then he puts in the pasta and starts adds some vodka, puts it on fire, and it's all flaming, and he throws the cheese in, and he's tossing it, and then he dumps it over in the cheese wheel and tosses it in there, and then bowls it up for you. And I don't know how to describe how good it is.
It's like the best butter noodles you've ever had.
Yeah. It's like noodles and butter and cheese, but it's not saucy, but it has these pockets of that freshly grated whatever kind of.
I'm sure everybody's seen that on like TikTok or whatever, but we'd never gotten the chance to try it.
Never been anywhere they did it. I mean, it was fantastic. That was in Mexico. I can't imagine what that's like in Italy.
Yeah.
Like you go somewhere real where they do that. I was like, holy crap. And I think it was vodka, isn't it? Tyler, have you had it before?
No, I've never had it.
Do you know what we're talking about though?
Yeah.
I think everybody knows what has seen it.
But it's like, that's the alcohol they used was vodka in it to get it to flame up. And it was. And I don't know. That was just like this was one course of the meal. I think that night I got short ribs and they were phenomenal.
I think I got sea bass.
Was that the Italian have the sea bass?
I don't remember. I had lamb.
The rack of lamb. Yeah. I'm not lamb's not my thing. I mean, it's okay, but.
That was probably the least.
It ain't as good as short ribs. I promise you.
That was the thing I liked the least, but it was okay because we'd had like multiple courses with the Italian dinner.
And the wine.
Yeah.
The Chilean wine is really good.
I've heard that those big Parmesan wheels cost like hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Can't you get them at Costco?
I don't know. Seems like the Costco should sell that.
You would think.
You said you were going to try to do a recipe and like how to do that at home.
Yeah.
Home version of that.
I mean, you could do it without the wheel. You just have to do it in the pan. I don't know. Do you think you could get a little thing and just do a serving?
A mini?
Yeah. I don't know. But I'm going to try to recreate that for you. I mean, see if it's even close.
It can't be hard. It was pretty simple.
Oh yeah. What I found is a lot of things, the more simple stuff is, a lot of times the better it tastes and the better it turns out. It's easier to execute because there was nothing incredibly hard about it. I mean, the noodle was cooked perfect, but I didn't even notice how they come out. Did he have them still in water? Or because it couldn't have been just noodles on a plate, it'd have been dry. But the texture of the noodle, it was just like the perfect al dente, but it soaked up all the flavor. And I mean, that one was really good.
When I worked in a restaurant, you would get the noodles almost all the way up to al dente, then stop them, and then put them in these little bags with ice cubes, and seal them off or whatever. And then when you go to reheat them, you put them in the pan, but they stay kind of like, I guess the ice keeps them,
It stops the cooking process.
Yeah, stops the cooking process, and then it kind of just finishes off in the pan when you're finishing it off.
So you don't overcook the noodle; it doesn't get mushy.
So once you put the noodles in there, does the ice cube kind of melt and it becomes part of the sauce?
Keeps it kind of moist, I guess. Yeah, so nothing sticks together, and then whenever you put it in the pan, it kind of finishes cooking that way. So
that's a good idea. Yeah.
So I ordered that spaghetti, but it was freaking lobster pasta.
Yeah.
This was like a side dish. You got it's a course, I guess you would say. It's your pasta course. But it was like, I was like, holy, this is incredible. I mean, the only thing, like, the weakest part of that the flavor of it was fantastic, but it was those, I don't even know how to pronounce them, but the little squirgly noodles.
Cavatappi.
Yeah, I think that's how it's called. But,
no, I like the cavatappi. This is more like
corkscrew or
more corkscrewy.
Oh.
Like you'd see in a pasta salad.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was still the flavor of the lobster and the texture of the lobster and all that was really, really good in that one too.
This is my thing with lobster. I'm not that crazy about just lobster, but the essence of lobster in other things is really good.
And so that's what it was. That's what it reminded me of. Like a good lobster bisque.
Yes,
it tasted like lobster bisque pasta with little pieces of lobster meat in it. I had lobster 3 different times. And
on this trip?
Yeah. And you know what was better than the lobster every single time? The sea bass.
Sea bass was good. We got it a couple times and it was
I mean, it might be as no, it's not better than tuna belly, but
do you think
cooked wise, it's up there. They ought to just call it lobster fish instead of sea bass
or just butterfish?
Butterfish. Yeah, because it tastes like it doesn't have a rubberiness at all to it like lobster can get. And so it just melts in your mouth, and it tastes just like you're eating buttered lobster.
Or is that the fish you told me that they renamed it?
I don't think it's really there's not really, like, if you search sea bass, I don't think there is a Chilean sea bass looking fish. I think it's got another name. I heard that what I was always thinking was that they used the term sea bass, so it was a chef term to where they could put it on the menu, and people would say, "Oh, this is sea bass. It's got to be good. It's not like
skankfish."
Yeah. What it's really called. But you'll have to Google that and give me some info. That could be a little Shell's learning corner. The How to Barbecue Right podcast is brought to you by our friends at Primo Grills. Shell, did you know that Primo is the only ceramic grill made right here in the good old USA?
What? Are you telling me that Primo Grills are proudly crafted here in the USA, ensuring top-notch quality and support for local craftsmanship?
I sure am. Plus, Primo Grill not only delivers mouth-watering flavor, but because of their innovative oval design and superior ceramic construction, Primo Grills also gives you a ton of cooking versatility.
Whether you're smoking low and slow or searing a steak to perfection, Primo Grills gives you the consistent heat distribution for mouth-watering results every time.
What she said, y'all. Y'all visit primogrill.com and check them out.
We also had sushi and sashimi.
Yep. I had some really good sushi, and I can just eat, I don't know, my weight in sushi.
The thing with sushi other places that I've noticed is when we have sushi around here, it's like the rice is packed real hard and it doesn't have a good texture, and the rice itself is bland. And yeah, you get some good tasting things inside there. And a lot of times they, I guess, tempura fried or do something to it.
Add cream cheese.
Yeah.
No, this wasn't that kind of sushi.
But the rice was so much better, and it made the sushi so much better.
Mm.
If our sushi tasted like that, I'd want to go eat it a lot more often.
Memphis is known for its sushi.
That's true.
I want to go to one of those experiences where it's like you've got that chef sitting there and he's making, you try it this way. Don't dip it in your soy sauce. What's the green stuff?
Gosh, what's the green stuff?
Wasabi paste.
Yeah.
No. Don't mix that up and dip it in there. Just eat it like that chef gives it to you right there. And it's what they brought us was fantastic.
I would definitely do that, where it's just like you eat one or two pieces.
Yeah, at a time.
Then he just keeps bringing you courses
different
like that.
Kinds. Mix in some tuna belly and some salmon and some amberjack.
Their soy was so much better too.
I don't think it was just Kinkamon.
It wasn't as salty. It
wasn't
more flavor.
It had that umaminess to it that, it was good. Really good.
And we had beef carpaccio. And so you used to turn your nose up at eating raw beef.
I don't know. My parents always cook stuff. We didn't do a lot.
You think I grew up eating carpaccio?
Oh, no.
I don't even know if I'm saying it right. But
I just wouldn't eat raw anything.
Yeah.
Until later in life. And now I'm a little more adventurous, I guess. But I know it's just like filet mignon that they pound out super thin. But when they get it all dressed up on a plate and it's got the little egg yolk stuff that goes with it and all the little.
The carpaccio I don't think has the egg yolk. It's the.
Is that the other one? That's
tartare.
Yeah.
You're still not crazy about tartare.
It's a texture thing. Because it's like I'm eating raw ground beef.
But it's so good.
The carpaccio is just like thinly pounded out, paper thin. You can just about see through it, and you just put a little bit of it on a little.
It has like
cracker thing,
dressing on it.
Yes, the oils and the sauces, and I could have swore it had like some kind of little egg drizzle, but it may not have.
I don't know. That was the night we were drinking the Chilean wine, I think. Yeah. Have you ever had it, Tyler?
I have not.
Either one, carpaccio or tartare?
Nope.
Would you try it?
Yeah, I'll try anything once.
Yeah.
That's good.
So they had...
You like that better than the tuna? The sashimi tuna?
The tuna belly is probably the best raw bite I've ever had.
Of anything.
Of anything, yeah. Tartare to me has better flavor than carpaccio, but we did go to this super nice restaurant, or is their super nice restaurant, which is actually it's not part of the all inclusive. You have to pay extra for it, and it's
what was it? Maria Dolores.
It's not a Michelin star restaurant, but the chef that created the menu or whatever, it has a star. Anyway, so we were all excited about it, and then we sat down. And they're like, "Welcome. This restaurant is all about a celebration of vegetables."
Yeah, that was the tasting menu. It's going to take you through this Mexican vegetable tasting, specializing in vegan stuff.
And I was like,
hold on, buddy. Hold on. He said, well, we do have this other menu that you can order from. And I said, okay, what's this? You see all this tasting things y'all got? We've got to taste all this stuff this way. And that's the one where we had the tuna belly.
Yeah.
That was the one where we had you had
tongue. Beef tongue and chili sauce.
Yes, it was tongue and chili sauce. And it was more of like think of beef cheeks braised down, and the tongue was like that, and the meat was it's a little shreddy. Kind of like a pot, like you would a chuck roast or something like that. But it so much flavor and tenderness to it. It blew me away. It was wasn't it like a mole sauce or something, wasn't it?
No, they had the short rib and the mole sauce. Yeah.
We had beef 3 or 4 ways. We had the tuna. We had all kinds of stuff that night.
As soon as he said,
but I did not have the vegetables.
As soon as he said celebration vegetables, my heart just sank. It's like, this is going to suck.
They did bring out, so they would bring out these little palate cleansers between courses when they bring you these plates.
It did suck.
Oh man. And it was like, think of a Jell-O cube, but like if they made it with Fabuloso and then embedded a mint leaf in it or something. And when I tried it, he was like, no, you put this in your mouth and you just let it, kind of dissolve, and it's going to cleanse your palate, and you're going to be ready for the next course.
It did some cleansing.
I was like, So I tried it, and I was waiting because I didn't say nothing to Shell. Because she does not do that flavor at all.
I don't even like gelatin, any gummy stuff.
But and he told the guy, he said it was supposed to melt in your mouth. No, it didn't go nowhere. You got to try to. I would have been better just trying to take it like a Jell-O shot, just go ahead and get it down. But it was like, I don't know if it was Scope mouthwash or some kind of cleaner or what, but it definitely changed your palate. Like you needed something after that. But man, it was. Oh, if you could take a whole Bianca breast spray, y'all remember that stuff?
Bianca breast spray.
You know what I'm talking about? And put it in Jell-O. That's what it was like.
Oh, that was back in the day. But do they still make that stuff?
I don't know. Tyler probably doesn't even know what that is.
No.
You know what it is, don't you?
Heck yeah. I think they banned it in my school.
Really?
People were spraying in other people's eyes. It was a problem. I don't know.
That always reminds me of that one movie Jim Carrey was in where he puts it up to his mouth and squirts it. It's like Dumb and Dumber, wasn't it? Or something like that. Let's be honest. But yeah, the palate cleansers were tough.
But the other stuff was pretty good.
That's where we got the martini.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I love martinis, vodka martinis. Extra dirty, that olivey briny, blue cheese olives. Nothing better.
Yep. And so we were sitting at this bar, and they've always got a bowl of fruit like they use for the other garnishment of these dishes. And this was one of those bars where they've got a different fancy glass for everything. They're making all these concoctions. And so they always had cucumbers. And I was like, what drinks do you think they're making with these cucumbers? And so I asked the guy, and he said, we do a martini with it. Wasn't it a martini? Mm-hmm. And he also puts it in a couple different margaritas and things like that. And I was like, Shell's ordering these vodka martinis. I said, do y'all have a tequila martini? Because I've never had, because we want something that's not sweet. And that's why we were thinking you could put it. And he was like, oh, I'll make one with mezcal. And it's like, it was mezcal, olive brine, and cucumber. And he would put it in the chiller, shake the crap out of it.
He diced the cucumbers really small,
mm-hmm.
Like just a few little cucumbers really small, and throw them in the shaker with the...
And shake, and then strain it out. And you talk about a heck of a martini drink. Man, it had a smokiness to it from the mezcal, and you got the cucumber, but it wasn't strong, and then the olive brine just kind of salted it out.
It sounds gross.
Yeah, but when you've been drinking these frozen drinks all day, you got to have something to counterbalance some of that sweet. And it was, wow. I mean, that's what they should serve you as a palate cleanser. Like you get a martini in between every course.
Yeah. You'll have a good time there.
Heck yeah.
The bartender, you were asking him questions when he was making those drinks and stuff, because that you always do. But he said, "Y'all like them strong, don't you?"
That's what he told. You went to the bathroom one time, and he said, "You like strong drinks." I said, "See."
What were you? I'm sorry to interrupt. What were you fixing to say?
Well, I was going to say most of the resorts we've been to they're just notorious for having weak drinks. Like, you go and you can have these drinks.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, no, it's really a good thing because you got to think this is it's a marathon, not a sprint, but not at this place. Ooh, if you didn't check yourself, if you got a problem, you're going to find out real quick there because they do not play. It was like the tequila is real.
It wasn't watered down.
The Belvedere is real. I mean, they will get you quick.
We went to a steakhouse.
Yes. Las Brazos.
Yeah.
It was really good too.
They had like a salad bar.
Think of Texas Day Brazil, Argentinian kind of steakhouse where they have, you go there and you can get all the little stuff first and then you come back and you get your meat. This wasn't like a meatery. It was like a regular steakhouse you ordered from a menu, but then they had this just all kinds of different good stuff on it. It was basically like a charcuterie bar.
Kinda. It's more olives and, I mean, you can get a salad.
Yeah.
But they have a soup and they have olives and meat and cheeses and they had a blue cheese butter.
Phenomenal.
That's something else you put on your list. You got to try.
Yeah, I got to do that. I mean, that's no joke.
Blue cheese butter is amazing.
Oh, you've had that before?
Well, so I think it's pronounced bourrée up in Oxford.
Yeah.
They do like a blue cheese compound butter on their fillets on their special menu sometimes, and it is.
So let me tell you, that's what I did. I'd went and got some of that butter. They had two different kinds. One of them was like a pepper butter. I don't know if it's Chipotle or what it was, but it had more flavor to it. And then they had the blue cheese. Well, I ordered I don't remember what kind of steak I had. That it was a ribeye. I had the ribeye, and it didn't just come out like a regular grilled ribeye, but I had that butter, and so I did exactly what you said. I took a dollop of it, put it on my plate, and moved that steak over on top of it, and just let it hang out while we were having dinner. When I started eating that steak, it had made this buttery, blue cheesy sauce underneath that mixed with all that, and it was, wow, phenomenal. Mm-hmm.
I will say, if you're going to an all-inclusive resort, and this kind of goes for a lot of places, whatever temperature you like your steak, go one under.
Yeah.
If you order it medium rare, go rare. If you like it medium, go medium rare. But
most of the stuff that I had was cooked perfect.
I did look at their temperature, like they gave you the steak temperature, like this is what we consider rare, and their rare was like 125. I was like, that's pretty medium to me.
So we were at that sky pool one day. It was up on the rooftop, and they had lunch there, and they had beef bites. We were just wanting something light, and you ordered it. It was called beef bites.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a couple little meatballs.
Yeah, or something like that, because it was supposed to have been kind of Greek themed or something. And they brought out a burger. It was like a burger, a thick burger on a ciabatta roll, wasn't it? With like caramel. It was, but man, you talk about cooked perfect.
I opened it up and I was like, there was pink there and it was juicy. I was surprised. I was like, look at this burger.
Maybe these people let us come back. Look at this guy. We got Shell's Travel Quarter now. Talk about resorts we visit. That's a whole nother business.
How to travel right?
Yeah. How to resort right. I figured it out. So this place does do, like, there was some business people there. I was like, man,
they have a whole conference center.
We just need to have our How to Barbecue Right conference at the Atelier.
We were talking about we were going to look up their conference schedule and join like
Do they post? That's what Chelsea.
Meat Packers Union of America. We're fixing to become members.
What conventions they're having? Because you can just go through that. Yeah, we're going to that one. We're going to a meat packer convention. I don't care what it is.
I don't care. We need to expense it.
We're all sitting at the conferences like, have you guys seen Malcom and Show? I can't get a hold of it.
We're going to the welcome dinner.
We have breakout sessions. Yeah, welcome dinner.
We're going to get our goodie bag and you won't see us the rest of the time.
We've got a super secret breakout session. It's at the little bar.
You're welcome to join, but
we did meet some cool people. There was a lot of I just heard a lot of people talking about YouTube videos and things like that, or they were working on or collaborating with people. And we didn't have deep conversations with them, but there was a lot of that going on.
We did say next time we go on any travel, we're going to buy like a case of those little salts. Like when you order room service or something, it brings you the little salts. And just keep it in my bag the whole time.
I have noticed. I think that's because we're from the South and we salt everything.
Because we like it salty, yeah.
But I found when I go out to places that they don't use as much seasoning as I like. I like my food seasoned. And I guess they have to do it for the masses because I can see people complaining, it's too salty or whatever. But what I did notice, that steak, that's what I told the chef at that steakhouse. One thing I liked about their little charcuterie area was they had these different bowls of seasonings and you could make your own seasoning to use on whatever you wanted. And so I made me up a little steakhouse rub real quick. It was fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
That's a good idea.
But a lot of times if you just ask them, bring you some salt and pepper, they'll bring out.
Yeah, they will.
You can use it how you want to. Since COVID, you don't see salt and pepper shake. I think it's just the restaurant's way of being cheap now.
They don't put the salt and pepper.
Yeah, because they don't like to put ketchup on the table anymore, and you don't see salt and pepper anymore.
I know around here you had a problem with people stealing it.
Oh, so I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say the group that is notoriously for doing that, but
that's an industry thing.
Yeah, that's an industry thing.
Especially like Longhorn, because we used to have like the crank, ones out on the table. I think they actually ended up switching it to like the really generic, like cheap looking shakers or whatever, because they used to have like the nice wood ones out on the table. And I'd be like, I'm missing like half of my section.
At the end of the evening, they're all gone.
For corn shakers. So,
Amy Mills used to say that she'd have problems with people. They would leave their magic dust sitting out on the table.
I can see that. If you got a bottle of barbecue rub sitting out, that's probably going home with somebody.
Yeah. They had high theft on that.
I can believe that.
I could see that after a few drinks. You think that's a good idea? I did have a crazy good hot dog.
Yeah, that was weird. It was a panini dog.
Yeah. It was like a lobster roll bread, and they took a couple hot dogs and sliced them in half and grilled them and like panini'd them.
Yeah, because you asked me, have you ever had anything like this? I said, hot dog sandwich. Mom, that's good. It was like on Wonder Bread with split hot dogs, and they get a little chari in the skillet, and then you put the cheese on it, make a grilled cheese with hot dogs.
I will say that there was a lot of dishes that had mayonnaise. They weren't afraid of mayonnaise.
No.
They'd mix it with something else, like, spice it up or something.
They had the blue plate down there.
They didn't have the blue plate. Yeah. I think it was like that McCormick lime mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise.
That's what it tasted. What is it called?
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise. I think that's what it tasted like to me.
That stuff's really good.
It is pretty good.
It was good. It was good.
I mean, it's no blue plate
it's
good.
Not blue plate, but yeah, it was still good.
Speaking of blue plate, if you are choosing mayonnaise this weekend, make sure to choose blue plate.
Quality mayonnaise since 1927, made with a real egg yolk still. Look for the blue top, the yellow label. No, they changed their label. And they like the sign I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's got
a
New Orleans thing.
Yeah, you can kind of see the building.
Tell
Tyler about the Mayan Coffee. He'd be down with that.
I had to look that up to see exactly what it was.
So Shell recorded this, Tyler, and it's really cool. I hope we can share a couple of these videos. But this was at a dinner service one night, and the guy said I can make Mayan Coffee. And I was like, okay. Tell us what it is.
It is, I'm going to have to pronounce this. Hold on. Zapantun liqueur, which is a liqueur from Mexico's Yucatan region made with honey, anise, and rum. And it's something that the Mayans used to use to make honey. So that's where it comes from. But it's this liqueur, Kahlua coffee liqueur, coffee, whipped cream, and a cinnamon stick.
Gotcha.
But the preparation was kind of...
So first he comes out, he's got this cart and he's got these sombreros on the bottom of it and all this stuff. And Shell looks at me and she said, I'm not putting on that. Because we're in a restaurant full of people, they're coming to your table. I was like, oh, this would be interesting. Because I was going to.
I know I was more afraid you were going to take it and put it on. You broke some ladies' maracas one night.
I was having a blast that night.
You're getting hit on. Anyway, back to the Mayan coffee.
Yeah, so they push this cart out, and he's got these. It's the fancy latte glass, the clear one with the little stem and everything. And he puts it over the burner first, and gets the upside down, like over one of these flame burners. He's sitting there holding this in his hand. I'm like, this dude's tough. Because it's got to be getting hot, And then he takes that glass and he's got like a bowl of that raw sugar. And he just sticks the rim down in it. And it caramelizes around the rim of this glass real quick. He turns it over and puts the Kahlua coffee in it, right?
No, he heated that stuff up in those little metal.
Yeah. But no, that was the liquor part. Okay. He had the glass loaded. He's building it in stages. So
he put the Kahlua in the coffee.
Yeah, the Kahlua in, then he heated the coffee up because the coffee was in like this little metal thing. Heated it up, poured it in the glass, and then he puts whipped cream on top, right? And then he gets out the liquor you're talking about, and he's got these. They look like gravy boats.
Those little metal thin ones.
Yes, that would get screaming hot.
Yes.
And so he puts this liquor in it, Tyler, and he starts pouring it back and forth over that fire. And it starts doing like a fire show. Like he's pouring fire and he's holding it up high and everybody's looking. And I was like, this dude's finna kill us. Or we're finna, cause he's got the thing it's a lot of liquor in it.
And you know how hot those little metal things are.
Oh, and he's constantly just working his hands and doing this and doing this and doing this. And finally he takes it when it gets it flaming really good. And I guess cooking off all the alcohol is what it's doing. He's just aerating it doing this. And he drizzles it all over that whipped cream. And then he puts the cinnamon stick in it. And it's, man, if Starbucks sold that, I can't imagine the liability from all that fire. But, man, it was fantastic. You talk about a dessert coffee.
That sounds awesome.
You would be down for that, I promise you.
And I can't imagine it was too alcoholic by the time they
got
it off. You got a little Kahlua.
A shot of Kahlua. What's that going to
do? And one other thing I got to mention, we had, this is on the plane, Biscoff is now making little cream cookies. I love Biscoff cookies. They come in the little planks.
Yeah, yeah.
Now they got cream inside of them.
So it's like a Biscoff Oreo, but a vanilla one because it's the Biscoff. Is that shortbread? What are those? What's that flavor called?
It's a hazelnut, isn't it?
I think so.
I don't know, but it's with that cream and then the coffee on the plane. That was really good.
With the cream might do it for me. I'm not a big Biscoff guy by themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
With coffee, man, they are so good.
And maybe that's why. Maybe because I've never tried it with coffee. Like they usually come around, hand out the little free snacks or whatever, and I don't ever think to get a coffee with them, but.
It's good. I'm a fan of the Delta Biscoff. Well, now they got sandwich creams. The only problem is you get one little one, and it's only about the size of, 50 cents per quarter. It's not very big. It's not Oreo size. It's smaller than that. It's intensely rich and flavorful, though.
So I came back with my trip with something I need you guys to make this time.
Fired up.
So have you guys ever had like an authentic Chicago beef sandwich?
Oh, yeah.
With the jardiniere peppers, and they dip it in
I like
gravy.
the combo.
So we went to this place, I think we found it's called Jimmy the Beef Guy. It's down in Florida. We kind of found out, looking up some stuff online, there was like some celebrities that had been there and stuff like that, so it was kind of famous, and I had never had one before, like ever, not ever. And this place I was doing it, like it was very specific. Like you had to order it. You could order it with the jardiniere peppers or sweet peppers, and then you got it dipped or not dipped. And then they would serve it with a side of what I'm assuming was Cheese Whiz, which I thought was kind of funny coming back full circle. But it definitely had more of a flavor to it. So it was definitely a doctored up Cheese Whiz. And it was probably the best sandwich I've ever had.
Really?
my entire life. It was so good.
And they dipped it in like the jus.
Yeah,
kinda?
well, it was like a jus, but it was like it was almost like a thick jus, like it was like I said,
gravy?
more of a gravy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that had like onions.
Could you get a side of that?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh.
Like they had all these signs up on the wall. It was like, we do not do sides of gravy. We do not do this.
That sounds like a Chicago joint. We're actually, that's what we're going. We're taking Michael up to Chicago, and I told Shell we're going to Lou Bonotti's. I mean, you talk about going to a place to get the beef sandwich.
What'd you say? You like the combo? Is that where they put sausage in?
It's Italian sausage and the Italian Chicago beef. So you get both.
That sounds wonderful. I know that there were like, I've heard the story that there were dueling cities. Like they think that the dip sandwich started either in LA or it started in Chicago.
It didn't start in no LA, I guarantee you.
I was going to say, I don't know. I have no facts to back this up. I'm going to Chicago.
There is a place in LA called Philippe's, and it's like one of the original French dip places or whatever. And it is really, really good. Like really good.
Really?
Been exactly the same recipe for years.
Do they use the giardiniera?
No, and that's what I was gonna say is like now that I've had this Chicago beef sandwich, I'm like, y'all aren't even doing half of it.
I would say I would challenge you to look that place up and see if they have a vegan sandwich, and it's not original. I guarantee you, in Chicago, you're not gonna find vegan Italian beef sandwich.
I wouldn't mind you making that though.
What? I've done them. I've got a recipe on it.
I know.
I did it one year, like around Super Bowl time. I'm pretty sure.
I have to look that.
It's been a couple. It's been several years.
Yeah, I remember you doing it, but I'm just saying.
Oh,
soon.
you just like, wouldn't hurt your feelings.
I like dipping it back in the jus. The gravy sauce.
I don't know if I've ever done the slider version of it, which would be great.
Oh, that'd be good.
That's kind of
I like this
reason to do it. Just small. I mean, because that's a sandwich, man. You're talking sub. This is a 12-inch roll.
You got to get the lean on it.
You got to get the lean on it. Yeah. I would. So this is a controversial topic. Which one's better, cheesesteak or Italian beef? Because I lean more Italian beef. That's cheesesteak. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a good cheesesteak.
So what would be the main difference between the two?
Probably the hot peppers.
Well, definitely the giardiniera, but for me, the Italian beef has more flavor because they really season it up.
Yeah.
And your au jus tastes a lot better. Like a lot of times, no killing on cheesesteak, but it's just salt.
Yeah.
And the beef, then the au jus, they dip it is real thin and doesn't have a ton of beef flavor, But you go to Chicago, you're getting into the Midwest, you're getting into Flavor Town now. They know how to use some stuff. You get all, I mean, I love it. I love the dry seasoning they put on the outside when they roast it. I mean, it's just everything about the Chicago Italian beef is phenomenal. And
they're taking longer to cook the meat too.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm talking about the roasting of the meat and everything versus just flat topping it.
No. Well, yeah, I can see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, because I see where you're going with that because that's a big difference. A cheesesteak often just starts out thinly sliced raw beef.
Yeah.
And it's cooked on the griddle.
And nothing wrong with that.
The Italian beef has been slow roasted and cooked rare and then shaved and then put to the au jus, and that's why it's better.
That's why it's better.
That's why it's better.
That's why the meat's so moist because it's brought up slowly, like in the jus to come back up to temp.
I would say a lot of times cheesesteak meat's probably, it's probably thinly sliced ribeye or something like that. Well, you're just looking at like a shoulder clod or a big roast to use an Italian. It's not necessarily loin.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's not loin. It's not ribeye. So that's probably the primary difference. But the flavors of the Italian style beef is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to try them side by side and make a judgment call.
Yeah. Like do a cheesesteak versus Chicago Italian beef. You couldn't eat two. Maybe a quarter of each. I don't know if you could do a half of each. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you could definitely do sliders.
Yeah. I could take on the sliders. And something, and I've seen this in the community a lot, is a lot of people are making like their own buns and their own, rolls and things like that for their burgers and their sandwiches. And
like you mean making the dough and all that?
Yeah.
I ain't got time for that.
But I'm sure it's delicious.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Because I don't really like store-bought commercial, the cheap buns.
You're going to grow your own cow too?
No, I'm not making bread. I'd like for someone else to make me the bread.
You want some artisanal roll?
Have y'all ever made buns?
We have, and they are really, really good.
Are they way better than store-bought?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Really?
It's just kind of one of those things that you have to remember to do it, like hours before or else, So we end up at the store a lot because, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
You got to feed the starter and yeah, I'm not into that.
And it's like weather permitting and stuff like that. So like right now it's like freezing cold outside. So you have to like keep it next to the heater. It's the whole, she loves it. She'll do it all day long. I think there's like 2 of the wives that work or,
multiple
that work here.
I know a lot of people. Yeah. I know a lot of people are really into it right now.
It's a fad.
Bread making is not a fad. Bread making's been around.
Homesteading, whatever you want to call it. Next, Tyler's going to have him some raised beds.
No. I draw the line.
Some chickens.
Some chickens. I did see a thing. People are renting chickens.
What do you mean?
Like, because of egg prices have gotten so high. And so it's like you want chickens to lay eggs instead of having to go buy your own and get them to where they're laying. You can just pay somebody weekly to pay for their chickens. They'll bring them to your house and you take care of them, I guess.
Who is eating this many eggs?
I don't know.
Like, I don't understand. I keep seeing this stuff and I'm like, are y'all good for more than a dozen a week? Like,
No.
Actually?
No.
I mean, that's like, that carton's $6.89, which is high for eggs, but $6.89, come on.
Yeah, you got to feed the chickens. You got to put time into the chickens, which,
I don't know.
Hey, if you like it,
go for it.
I'd love to have some chickens. I just don't want to have to take care of them. Have you ever cooked and cleaned a chicken?
No. I have a duck. I've cooked and cleaned a duck or goose, but never a chicken, a quail, or dove.
So, real quick, I wanted to talk about the community.
All right.
We had our giveaway last week.
It ends today. I do not.
It's still going.
Oh. What's today? I thought today was the 21st. I think it ends today at 8:59. So I don't have the official winners to announce today. But
okay. So you still got time to
coming up.
Get on there.
Yeah.
But I always check the community for questions and ideas and stuff. And Megan had posted that she cooked some gumbo and she had it with potato salad. And I got to tell you, I've tried it. It's not my favorite.
It's okay. You think it would be because you like to add creamy stuff to everything stews, yeah. And you think you would like it, but we actually did it, and I was like, well, maybe you need to try it with the rice, try the combo, but it wasn't. I
feel like the flavors fight each other.
Yeah, I'd rather have my potato salad on the side.
Maybe we made too flavorful a potato salad.
Maybe, I don't know. I just don't think. It's not. I get it, and I know some people love it. I'm not knocking you if you like it, but I'll just give me the rice, gumbo with rice.
Have you ever had like gumbo over grits? That's
no.
Really good.
I could see that being really good.
Yeah,
because grits kind of gumbo is so flavorful by itself. If you do it right, it's so flavorful by itself. It needs something a little more bland.
Grits and grains are phenomenal,
mm-hmm.
So I could see it working.
Like specifically yellow stone ground grits for the listeners. Like it's really, really. I'm assuming you probably wouldn't put a lot of cheese in the grits and stuff like that. You'd probably want to be kind of a baseline flavor like rice is, but really, really good consistency.
That's how I grew up eating grits. Just plain old.
Gumbo?
No, just plain old. Like we didn't get cheese and stuff in grits.
Oh yeah,
it was just grit.
Butter and black pepper.
Maybe a little
sauce.
Butter and black pepper. But you had to put that in yourself.
You do sugar. Yeah, that's how they get kids to eat them. And get you working on your juvenile diabetes. Add some table sugar to it, why don't you?
Some
table sugar. That's just something. Why do you need a bowl of sugar on the table? Just put table sugar on it. It's for seasoned sugar and everything.
I grew up we drank a gallon of Kool-Aid a day in the summer.
Sometimes 2 gallons of sweet tea a day.
There was no water. Let's go get you some Kool-Aid.
Gotta love the South.
And
we like our sugar and we like our salt.
Heath was looking for options and recommendations on KitchenAid mixers. He was wondering if he should spring for the one that's got the bigger one that tilts the bowl out and stuff, or
this is
just keep
question.
It. There's pros and cons, I would say, because I love the big one with the bowl lift and tilt out and all that stuff. but it's too big to fit in my appliance garage, and it's heavy and where I have to store it. So I'll use it less because of that.
Yeah, I think
if you have the perfect place to store it or want to keep it out on the counter,
always go bigger.
Always go bigger.
Yeah, but I would say you probably use the small one more. How many times are you using one where you got to make that much stuff?
Yeah, and if you're making bread like y'all do, if you're doing that all the time, do y'all have a KitchenAid?
Yeah, just a normal one though.
Just a normal one.
I don't know what says that, the 1.5 or 0.75. I mean, I know there's different. That's how they go.
Yeah.
It's the liter size, right? Or it's gallons or liters. I don't know. I think it's.
If you're going to be moving it around a lot, the big ones.
It's like, do you want the $150 one or do you want the $250 one?
Yeah. I think those are old school prices right there.
Are they really? What does a KitchenAid stand mixture cost? I'm surprised Ninja don't make one that's like a cheaper version that does better.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
When I think of them, I always think of the KitchenAid brand, though.
Oh, there's some that go up to $700.
Is that like the floor model?
Like at the Hobart.
Yeah. So you could dump in 5 pounds or 25 pounds of flour in that one.
The cheap one at Walmart's $300 or right at $300.
Oh, they're that much?
Wow. That's the thing about KitchenAids, though, is they'll last forever.
Yeah. I've had mine for my first one.
I bought
10
that
years.
for you for like Christmas way back way.
I don't even know if we're married. Heck, that might be 15, 16 years old.
That was like,
I wanted you to start Homestead. That bread.
You were hoping.
Never got to that. Made a lot of sausage balls in it. It's great for mixing sausage balls.
Banana pudding?
Yeah, banana pudding.
I'm just
what else you use
not
it for?
A baker.
Yeah.
I've never been much of a baker.
I use it for mashed potatoes and everything. Like, I am lazy when it comes to cooking. I will throw it in.
Well, I don't like using it because you got to clean it up. It's something else to clean up, you know?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I finally got a potato ricer for my mashed potatoes. Shout out to our buddy Austin.
Yeah, Austin. He got me a Smithy skillet and a potato ricer.
So I might be making mashed potatoes this weekend.
What?
You're going to be going to Texas? I'm going to be living it up with my taters. Well, Malcolm, that's all I got for you today. You got anything?
No.
Wrap up?
I highly recommend y'all go to Mexico and check out that place we went, because if you need somewhere to go, it'll blow you away. I can't wait to go back.
We went to the one in Dominican.
Yeah, that was an awesome one too.
It was a family one.
It was family. Yeah, this one was like
whole different.
You know, but see, so the Mexican adult ones though, and I didn't realize this, they're 16 and up. Does that mean they would let you drink all that tequila if you're 16? Because that would be bad dangerous. I didn't see any kids there.
Carding folks.
Yeah, but I know it does say 16 and up is considered an adult for that place. But I didn't notice anybody young. Like there was all. I don't know how young people could afford it. Maybe we went with the family or something, you know. That's the only way. But it wasn't like this wasn't a party place. Me and Shell were probably the partiers. I don't know. There's people having a good time. It's just,
and we are always,
it's not like one of
these,
you're not having phone parties and it's not, all that stuff. This is more about relaxing and the food experience. But it's what you make it. If you want to have a good time, you can have one. 2 people or I could have one by myself. I had to.
You would not be by yourself. You'd be up in the mix of it.
I'd be back in the kitchen.
Yeah, probably. Drinking tequila and learning. Yeah.
I did see some big Mexican raccoons. Heck yeah. It was like, so we were walking. So this place you walk, but a lot of it's open air. I mean, of course your room's not open air, but the hallways and stuff to get to the buildings. And we were walking and it's different levels. And we were going back to our room one night. And I was like, shit, what is that? What is that? Look. Is it a dog? What is it? And there was something like running down the hallway, and all I could see was back. And, I'm always, is that something I can hunt?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know, man. It was either a big monkey, a raccoon. I was excited. And then Shell was like, oh, you didn't see nothing? You didn't see nothing? I said, yeah, I did. And then the next night, we caught him. He was right in the hall. And this was a long-legged raccoon, too. And what'd you say? Is it a lemur? And I said, no, it's a raccoon. Look at it. And he looked at us.
He looked like a mix between a lemur and a raccoon.
Yeah, but then he scuttled on around. I mean, we got a good look at him. He stopped. He didn't stand up. But he got away, and I said, where'd he go? And because there were some stairs. I said, what he built down them stairs? Watch, let's see if he comes out. Sure enough, that joker went down to the flight of stairs, turned, went back down, and started going. And I started whistling and making raccoon noises at him. And he turned back and just looked up at us. He was like he was thinking if he should go back or not. But you give me another week, I'd have had that thing trained. I was going to start bringing him back treats.
We saw an iguana one night.
I tried to catch one.
I know, you ran him into the kitchen.
This is true. Did you get that on film?
I did.
Because like
I'm not sharing that one.
What do
you tried to catch him.
That might have been.
He's like, Shell, film this, and we'll get this iguana. I was like, you are not fixing to get this iguana.
I got close, but he broke. I did not expect him to do that. So this restaurant.
I'm pretty sure he can outrun you.
I was going to jump up. I had it already figured out. I got within almost arm's length of grabbing him, and this was a grown man iguana.
It was a big one,
But he turned and went, and there was people in there eating, and I don't know, they weren't really watching us. I don't think they might have been. They might have been looking at this fat guy over here, so trying to catch that lizard. That'd have been funny to me if I'd have saw a guy my size. I'd have been tuned in.
Half lit.
I'd have been full lit,
full lit, trying to catch an iguana.
But I got around him and I got in the bush, and I was about on him, and he went up in that restaurant up under a table, and I was like, uh-oh, and then he went back towards the kitchen. I said,
let's get out of here.
You made me leave. So I would have went in there after him. We saw several big iguanas.
I'm just picturing you busting up in the kitchen chasing after an iguana in your bathing suit.
Margarita.
Broken maraca in the other. All right, we got to quit.
All right, well, where can they find us, Shell?
If you'd like to connect with Malcolm, it's HowToBBQRight on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's been a minute. TikTok, and of course, YouTube. If you'd like to connect with me, it's Mess Southern Shell on TikTok and Instagram.
And y'all make sure to head on over to the Let's Get to Cooking community on Facebook over at facebook.com/group/H2Q community.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all hanging out with us today, and we will be back next week to talk more how to barbecue right.
We'll talk barbecue next week.
We're going to talk barbecue next week?
Yeah. Get back on the plan.
There you go. Get back to some kind of normalcy. We gone.